Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 21 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Catherine Benton. Catherine, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you and we think you're awesome. So thank you so much again. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Oh my god, I am tired. Oh my god, this last day or two has been exhausting. I cannot believe all of the ridiculousness that has occurred over the last 48 hours or so. So when we left off yesterday, some major knowledge bombs were dropped. Grateful is ready to dump Nick and Bella. Well, this is, okay, so this is as a result of the knowledge bombs. Grateful is ready to dump Nick and Bella. Jack wants to dump Sis. He wants to go back to the friend zone. And Kemi wants to dump Bella. It's about damn time. And Cliff blew up his own game. He was doing his morning monologue and Christy eavesdropped and heard his whole entire plan. So that's fun. Cliff doesn't even know that this happened. He is not aware of it at all, which is making me incredibly sad. But now he has moved up on 6 shooters target list. And now 6 shooters really want to focus on pulling in Nicole and David to make up for all of the lost numbers. So Jack was talking to Nicole up in the HOH room and he's like, I'm sorry, but I'm super emotional because I had crazy dreams about my ex last night. Dude, get it together. Oh my goodness. So he was saying to Nicole, I heard you also had a rough night as far as people talking to you and asking you what you would do if you won HOH and basically like interrogating you. And yeah, Nick and Bella were putting a lot of pressure on her to give names for who she would put up if she won HOH, and she was like, I don't freaking know. Why is she gonna tell them that? They have the, maybe not even the biggest, because there's a lot of big mouths in this house, but they have some of the biggest mouths in this house. She's not gonna share that information with them. So Jack says, I care about you as a person and I want us to look out for each other moving forward. And he keeps saying like, I would never put pressure on you to do something. And we see what he's doing here. I'll always have your back. He's being very complimentary and Nicole's just like, oh, thank you, thank you. So Jack says they each have a good gauge on like opposite sides of the house, so they're in a good position to make something happen here. So he says, let's each get to jury. And Nicole's mostly just yesing him like, yeah, yep, definitely, And then Nicole's asking him, you know, what's up for this week? What is the vote looking like? And Jack says, the house is leaning towards a unanimous vote for Kemi to go. I mean, she knew that that was coming, but she says, I just want you to know, I trust you, I respect you, and there's no animosity towards you, even though you did put up Jess and Kemi this week, you know, 2 of her friends in the house. So she says there's no animosity there. There was lots of respect exchanged during this conversation. It was all like, I respect you, blah, 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 and then I respect you for respecting me. Like, it was a lot. So Jack says, again, he'll never pressure her. We'll see about that. And he respects what's best for her game. So even if she feels that it's best for him to for her to put him up, he says, I get it, but I know that it's not best for you to do that. He's doing too much. Okay, so then Christy was talking to Sis and Holly, and Sis says she's sleeping downstairs tonight. Christy lets her know that Jack was crying this morning because he had a bad dream about his ex, and he's probably not quite over her. You think? So she also tells Sis, just so you know, Jack might want to talk about all this with you later, and, you know, it's not you, it's him. He's got a lot of baggage. He's got a lot going on, so it's nothing against you. So then Jackson comes in, and they start discussing all of the Cliff info that Christy overheard. There was a lot of that yesterday. So then Jack and Jackson were talking, and you'd think that they would be talking about this new information that they received, but no. They were talking about the Sis situation, So, long story short here, I'm gonna give you the short story and the long story, but the short story is Jackson doesn't care about other people's feelings, and he wants Jack to keep hooking up with Sis so that it doesn't destroy their alliance. All right, so Jackson says, I'm not telling you to play her or to not take her emotions into consideration, but we made our bed and now we have to lay in it. Like you did when you broke up with Kat and made a new bed with Holly? Okay, so he's telling Jack, remember what you said from day one. You're here to win. You're here to play a game. We have 79 days left. You know, we've got a long way to go. So don't make any rash decisions that can blow up your game. Right now, we are on effing thin ice. So he tells them, take time and space to think about things. You can talk to me, you can talk to Christy, but just don't go down there and pull the plug on something and blow shit up. Because he says once you burn that bridge, especially with a girl that's 22 and significantly less mature than you, there's no going back. Significantly less mature? I don't know about that. Also, isn't Jackson like maybe, what, 2 years older than Sis? A year or two older? And they're just like so much more mature than her. But anyway, Jack is all like, yeah, yep, got it, yep, I know. Like, he is not contributing much to this conversation because he's very upset. He's really upset about the dream about his ex, okay? And this whole Sis situation. So Jackson is telling him, this ain't real life. This is a game and we need as many numbers as we can get. Ugh. So Jackson's suggestion, you should talk to Sis and tell her that you need to be a little more subdued with her in public. And then he says, I don't think you need to cut off sleeping with her. You can still do that because, like, who's gonna know? Are you kidding me? That's so sad that he's like, yeah, you can still sleep with her. But he says you need to taper that down gradually if you're gonna stop that. You can't just cut it off all at once because that's gonna set off a bomb. So Jack is like, I don't know, I kind of want to do it like the opposite way. He wants to be cool with Sis in public, you know, no kissing or anything, and then no sleeping together. So Jackson says, but what's the point? That's not having your cake and not eating it too. Oh, this guy is such a loser. Obviously, Jack does not want any kind of romantic relationship with Sis right now because he's afraid his ex is gonna see it on the feeds and never talk to him again. I think that's pretty obvious. That's what he's freaking out about, but Jackson's like, no, we gotta keep the alliance together. All right, so anyway, Cliff and Obi have a game chat, and Cliff says Tommy and Christy are super tight. They're basically a fourth couple. We know, everyone knows, everyone has heard your freaking morning monologue. We all know. So anyway, Cliff is telling Obi, we gotta make sure that all these couples don't work together and just start picking everybody else off. You know, we gotta figure out who in that group feels like they're on the low end and maybe we can pull them away and get them to work with us and get something going here. So Obi says he's noticed that more people are starting to pay attention to Nick and Bella. Like, they might not necessarily be targeting them yet because of Camp Comeback. Nobody wants to make huge waves like that. But people are definitely eyeing them. So then they're saying they want someone from the cool kids group to turn on their own group, hopefully before Nicole is targeted. Cliff is really worried about Nicole, which is sweet, but he doesn't realize he's in a lot more danger than her right now after what happened with the eavesdropping. So not long after that, Christy and Tommy were chatting in the Target bedroom, and they're going over again what Cliff said, and Christy says, all right, he doesn't know that we knew each other before coming in here, but he does know that we're really close. So obviously, Christy is feeling very threatened by the fact that Cliff has picked up on their close relationship now and that he is thinking of them as a fourth couple. So of course, she's gonna wanna take him out, right? Because like, what if he keeps learning more about them and he figures out their secret or something? So Christy is wondering if Cliff knows that she heard him. I don't think he has any idea. But Christy says Cliff is public enemy #1 now, and she would like to see him get evicted next week to ensure that Cliff and Obi will both be in Camp Comeback, which means only one of them if either would be coming back into the game. So she doesn't want them both in the game together again. And Christy says this will also be good because Jess will trust them more. She'll see that she was never the target in the first place this week. All right, interesting. So next up, we love a good Kemi and Nicole conversation, right? So they were talking and Kemi has some more ideas. She wants to sit down with Jack and ask him how the rift between them really began. She wants to really try and get to the bottom of that. So she knows if she asks that, he's gonna turn it around on her and be like, whoa, how do you think it started? So she says she's gonna say that somebody told her that he started an alliance of 8 on day 2. She's gonna name all the names, mention it all. And I'm assuming Bella told her this information. Probably, right? But she's gonna also say that this person, Bella, also told her that Jack said, you know, early on in the game, that Kemi is a wild card, but that he had her under his wing because she flirts with him. And she's gonna be like, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So that is definitely part of it. But Kemi, she's trying, what am I even saying? This season is destroying me so far. She is planning on waiting until Wednesday, as in today, to have this conversation with Jack because she doesn't want to do it too soon. So Kemi feels like she's definitely getting evicted this week at this point, because people see her as more of a threat than Jess. But she's really hoping that she will be the one to come back from Camp Comeback. But she says if she knows for sure on Thursday that she's going, she is going to effing blow up Bella's game. Oh my god. So, like Nicole, I am very excited for this prospect. I think it could be pretty wild. She would love for Bella to get evicted next and then face off against her in like a Camp Comeback challenge and beat her. So she says if she's not going to win this thing, she's not going to let someone else destroy her game without her at least fighting back. And she says people are now seeing that Bella is playing all sides of the house, so she is really going to push that in her eviction speech. It should be interesting, her eviction speech. Lulu, you want to go out? Okay, sorry. So then, where are we? Oh, okay. Kemi says if she does end up staying and she wins HOH, she's gonna put up Nick and Bella. Bella would be the target, and Nicole says, I respect that a lot. So Kemi says, I'm just gonna put them up straight up. I'll let them play in the veto. Nick sucks at competitions, and I've beaten Bella in almost every comp so far. So she says about them, you can fight for your life, because I'll end it. Oh, snap! Okay, so in other news, Cliff's no good, horrible, bad day continues. He already got freaking busted during his morning chat, his Cliff Notes. But then he made a fake mouse out of, I think it was like some lint or something, and he attached it to a string to prank people. So he used it to prank Jackson, and when Jackson jumped away from the mouse, he put all of his weight on his injured foot / ankle, and he was in a lot of pain. A lot of pain after that. So Jackson was like, oh, it was funny though, don't worry about it, it was funny. Cliff is apologizing. He says that he totally forgot about his foot. He wouldn't have done that, but like he wasn't even thinking of it. So Jackson's telling him, don't worry, it's all good. I thought it was really funny. And he is like profusely telling Cliff, don't worry about it, because Cliff feels really bad. But anyway, after that, Jackson and Holly were chatting. Ugh. These two, when they're talking alone, are freaking insufferable. Blah. So first they were talking about Jack and Sis's drama, and basically they were just saying Jack shouldn't be showing too much emotion. He needs to focus on the game, and Sis is too immature to handle a breakup, so they're not sure how this is gonna pan out. Again, what is she, 2 years younger than Jackson? Come on. So they're also saying that Christy has a big mouth. Like when she tries to have house-wide study sessions, how is that going to help them out? So they feel like she's also potentially trying to drive a wedge between Jack and Sis, and I definitely see her doing that. It seems like she's trying to manipulate both of them because she loves the attention that she gets from Jack, even if she's not interested in pursuing anything with him. And she's always telling Sis, like, oh, I don't have feelings for Jack, but like, I can't control how he feels. So I think it's pretty clear that Christy wants there to be tension between Jack and Sis. I couldn't remember her name for a second. And Sis. Like, she may not be doing it on purpose, but like, I think subconsciously she loves that drama. Okay, so then Holly and Jackson were discussing if they should use the Cliff info to their advantage to get ahead of the rest of the 6 shooters and Nick and Bella. So I guess Grateful. So Jackson's like, what if I talk to Cliff and I tell him that I heard him talking this morning? You know, we could use that, pull him in, and work together. So he says, right now, Cliff is using me as his side piece. And, you know, he's doing that so that he'll be protected against the 6. So what if I tell him that you and I are not coming for him, but like Jack, Christy, Tommy, Sis, we don't know where they stand. So he says, I hate to do that and like go against our allies, but whoever gets to Cliff first is probably going to be the least likely to end up in his crosshairs. So he wants to try and get a jump on the rest of his allies so that he'll be safe if Cliff wins HOH. So Holly says she likes the idea, but she thinks that he should say that Christy heard Cliff talking and went and told them about it, which is the truth. But Jackson's like, no, I don't want to include Christy because I don't want to risk Cliff going to her and trying to smooth things over. We want to make sure that she is still a target for him. So they're like, I don't know, is it worth the risk of betraying our alliance? Because I mean, this thing could really blow up in our faces if something goes wrong, and then it would be really bad. So they realized after talking it over, they probably shouldn't tell Cliff that anyone heard him talking, because maybe he'll keep doing it and maybe they can keep getting more information. But they do want to still try and pull him in. Maybe they could be like, oh man, look at all those couples. We should probably go after them, right? So they're gonna work on that. We'll see. All right, meanwhile, Christy continues to tell everyone about Cliff's morning recap, including Nick, Sam, and Bella. Wait, what? Why are you telling them? I feel like, okay, maybe it's okay that you told your closer allies, but you're gonna tell Nick, Sam, and Bella when you know that they're running around the house talking to everybody? That's crazy. So she even told them how Cliff was saying that he wanted to pull in Sam because he's a free agent, and use Sam to convince Nick to join with them. So it would be a group of 5. Sam, Nick, Cliff, Ovi, and Nicole. Why would you give them that ammunition? Now they know that that group is interested in working with them. So maybe they're going to split away from you and get together with that group to come after you. That's crazy. So anyway, meanwhile, Holly and Sis were chatting, and they are so over their alliance. They're talking about how Jack and Christy think that they're running everything. Is that really why you're upset with them, though? Something tells me there's more to it for Sis anyway. But Holly says, you know what, we need to let them think that they're running the alliance. But Sis is frustrated that the target always seems to be on them. You know, their names are always coming up and not Jack and Christy's. What? I will say that yes, their names are coming up as potential nominees, but not like the actual target. But there's a ton of people who want Jack out. I will say nobody seems to really be talking about getting rid of Christy, but that's because she's building up a lot of really strong relationships with people. So they don't seem to realize what a huge threat she is at this point. But anyway, Sis wants to win the next HOH. She says she would backdoor Cliff because, you know, Cliff is targeting the couples. But I just have a quick side note. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but why did it look like during this conversation Holly was putting on like old age makeup for the stage? Like, I don't know if it was just because her foundation is like really light or something, but it just looked wrong. It looked wrong for her. I don't know. It struck me like, what? So anyway, while they were talking, Bella briefly came in and talked about the Christy Cliff stuff. They didn't know that Christy was going to share this with Bella, Nick, and Sam. So this makes them even angrier. So after Bella goes away, I think she was going up to the HOH room to get more information about Cliff from Christy. So they're like, why is Christy telling Nick, Sam, and Bella? Are they literally idiots? I guess when she said they, she meant like Jack and Christy and whatever. So now Holly and Sis are saying they're only going to share information with each other. They're definitely not going to share info with Christy because she's got a huge mouth. And Sis is also saying that they need to back away from Jack and Jackson because she feels like they're not even going to make it to jury because they're tied to those guys. It's not like you're being held there against your will. But Sis says, we didn't even do shit. Yeah, obviously we know that. Maybe you should stop playing Love Island and, I don't know, develop relationships with other people. They can't seem to figure out why Christy's name isn't being thrown around, especially when she was HOH the first week, which is really like 2 weeks. So that's really blowing their minds. But again, Christy has developed relationships with a lot of people. So they feel like at this point they're at the bottom of the totem pole and grateful, and they're like, it's time to play our own games. We'll see. All right, so then Grateful minus Tommy plus Sam, it's BB math, we're up in the HOH room, and Christy is like, all right, we've got this Cliff information. I think we need to backdoor Cliff next week. But Jackson proposes putting up Cliff and Nicole. No! Not Nicole! So if they do that, Cliff and Nicole won't be able to save each other with a veto, so one of them will be guaranteed to stay up on the block. And he's also talking about how if one of them has the power from the first activity, it's going to smoke it out, and if they don't use it, they'll know that Ovi has it. Most of these people already know that Ovi has it. I don't know if they're doubting that or they're just trying to cover because I guess they didn't tell Sam. But I could have sworn, maybe they didn't tell Nick and Bella either, but I thought somebody did. I don't know. But they're talking about, you know, figuring out who has that power. And also, if one of them does come off the block, they can just put Jess up as their replacement, and it's easy peasy. I don't like this plan. All right, so anyway, back to Love Island. Jack finally talks to Annalise around like 5:15-ish p.m. They pretty much avoided each other for most of the day because Jack was all like upset and moody, and she was just like, I'll let him come to me. So he says, hey, I've had a rough morning. I had emotional dreams last night, and I didn't realize how much baggage I had before. So he says that he's worried about them and their games. He says we're targets for a lot of people. You know, obviously we're a really strong couple in here, so how are we gonna navigate that? And Sis is like, what do you think? Way to play your own game, sis. So Jack says, well, I don't want to stop spending time with you or seeing you. And Sis says, yeah, but I don't want you to feel like you have to spend time with me. And she kept saying, like, I'm not good with words. I'm not good with words. But she was basically telling him, look, you don't have to like pity hang out with me just because we banged, you know? She doesn't want that. So she's like, I get it. It's a game. I understand. And Jack is saying again, we're the strongest couple here. How do we find that balance? Because they both want to see each other and hang out, but they also don't want to put targets on each other. So then Jack is saying, I can't wait to get to know you on a better level. You know, like the deeper layers that Christy speaks so highly about. And he says that he wants an incredibly close friendship with her, like he has with Christy. Ugh, I feel like maybe you should stop mentioning Christy because I think that's probably really annoying to Sis. But anyway, oh my god. Jack says, you know, if you win HOH, I'd love to stay upstairs with you for a few nights. Are you freaking kidding me? I thought he wanted no like sexual contact with her anymore. I guess he's trying to take Jackson's advice. I don't know. Maybe he's just really horny. Maybe it's both. But he says like when we're downstairs, we gotta pump the brakes a bit. And Sis is like, yeah, that makes sense, blah, blah, blah. So it seems like they agree they need to like chill for a bit. But this was weird. They ended the conversation with a kiss, multiple kisses. I thought he didn't want to do that anymore. Okay, whatever. I really don't give a shit. So anyway, back to the game. Big Mouth Bella strikes again. But this time, she wasn't betraying her friends or like people that I like. So it was more exciting. So she was talking to Sam, and at first they were talking about how they don't want to take out Cliff next week because Cliff is not really a threat to them. Yes, he's going after couples, so Bella should be, you know, kind of scared about that, but he's probably going to be targeting the other couples first, or so she thinks. So she feels like he's not really a threat to her. So they agree they're not going to do the others' dirty work. It doesn't make sense. So if either of them win HOH, they plan on putting up Kat and Jess. Okay, fine. And then Bella tells Sam about Grateful. She's like, it's an 8-person alliance and you're the 9th. You're number 9. Ugh. So Sam is like, wait, what? Why am I not in it? And Bella says that she and Nick have been looking for a way to get out of it. Blah, blah, blah. But then Ovi interrupts and ends the conversation. But don't worry, they talk about it again later. Okay, so I just want to point out, later when Bella and Sam were talking about this in the HOH room, Nick was in a different room, all freaking cuddled up with Sis. I feel like they were like weirdly all over each other last night. I mean, maybe because Sis kind of got dumped, but Bella's gonna be pissed if she finds out about that. So anyway, Bella is spilling to Sam. She tells him all about the origin, name, and members of the Grateful Alliance, and she tells Sam, I think you're okay. You know, you've been in pretty much all the conversations anyway, and even when you're not there, we talk about the same stuff that we would talk about if you were there. And she's like, I don't know why you're not in the alliance. I guess you're in the alliance. She has this like really quick way of speaking. But she says, I guess you're not officially in the alliance because we formed it way back when no one really knew you yet. But she says, honestly, it makes sense that they wouldn't want to add him to the group because he's really only a number for her and Nick. And she figures her and Nick are probably going to be the first ones that their group targets, you know, when they start eating their own. Yeah, I think it's gonna be before that. But anyway, she's like, oh, I wasn't sure if Nick told you yet or not. I guess he probably didn't tell you because you have nothing to worry about. So, you know, why freak you out by telling you? I think it's super sketch to Sam that Nick did not tell him because they're supposed to be like ride or dies, and I think that Sam is pretty shocked that Nick did not tell him about this, and it's probably really throwing him here for a loop and making him wonder, what else is Nick not telling me? So Bella tells Sam there's like an agreement in the alliance that you're supposed to be the last of the floaters to go. Like you're gonna be 9th place or whatever. Great, I'm sure that's exactly what he wants to hear. Also, I don't think that's true because a lot of people in Grateful have said that Sam is a threat and they don't want him sticking around too long. So he's not like the next target, but he's definitely not the last floater target. So Sam says, I'm just worried because I always call out the bottom feeders. So technically, am I a bottom feeder? Yeah, you are. But Bella says, no, you're 9 out of 8. That's not good. But Sam he's pretty confused right now. He's like, wait, why was Christy telling me that she wanted Jack out if she's like in this alliance with him? It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. And then Sam starts thinking, maybe we shouldn't vote out Kemi because she's a number for our side. Maybe you should have used the veto. Just saying. But Bella agrees. She's like, yeah, I think Kemi's great. Like, maybe we can make something work here. But also, like, is Kemi still a number for their side? Because she's planning on going after Bella and Nick. But I guess if they were to flip the vote and keep her, she wouldn't turn on them like that. So I don't know. But Bella, this is like really, this should really be a red flag to Sam. She tells Sam, don't tell Nick that you know about Grateful, because I'm afraid that Nick might run and tell Jack that you know. Ugh. So now it's like, okay, does Nick trust Jack more than he trusts me? Is he closer to Jack than he is with me? Like, what is this? So I don't think Sam is feeling too good about his alliance or not alliance right now. But he's realizing too, he's got no way to weasel into that Grateful group, because it's all showmances and Christy and Tommy are like the fourth couple. So he's kind of screwed there. But he also feels like it's too early to make a big move against them. Ugh, it's never too early. You can do anything you want. So then they were talking about their ideal alliance of Bella, Sam, Nick, Christy, and Tommy, so that they can go against Jack, Jackson, Holly, and the other one, Sis. I can never remember her name. Okay, so then, isn't it weird, a little later, that ideal alliance was up in the HOH room. Nick, Bella, Sam, Christy, and Tommy. So Bella says, oh, it's so weird, like Kemi loves every single person in this room. And Christy's like, oh, I love Kemi. But Nick is like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? We're not flipping the vote, are we? Like, what is this? You freaking suck. So then Nick is saying, this group right here, this is the final five. And Christy's like, yeah, I trust all of you guys more than, you know, the others in the house. That's a lie. So Nick is also like, I want to admit, I don't think I can put up Nicole next week. None of them want to put up Nicole next week. They all agree. So they're like, fine, we can do Jess and Cliff or Jess and Kat and then take out Cliff. So Nick is like, all right, well, let's put a name to this thing. So he says that they should call themselves the Flaming Five, and everybody's freaking out. They love the name. But then Tommy's like, let's put it to bed right now. You know, let's put that on the back burner. That's not a good sign. He does not want to solidify this for sure. I mean, why would anybody want to solidify something with Nick and Bella with their reputation of playing all sides of the house? So anyway, later, the 6 shooters were up in the HOH room, and they're starting to think, or at least Tommy is, and maybe Christy, they're starting to think maybe Cliff could be part of some sort of Team America or like America's Player, because he's always carrying around Orwell. He's doing his morning monologues, so maybe there's something to that. So Tommy decides he's gonna hide Orwell in the HOH room, because he's thinking maybe one of his tasks is to carry around Orwell all week. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to this. So poor Cliff is like looking for Orwell. He can't find him. It's so sad. All right, moving on. This morning, Cliff did his morning monologue. I don't think he knows that Christy heard what he said the day before. So I believe today, you couldn't really tell because he wasn't on camera at the time, but he was talking about it later. It sounds like Jackson listened in on part of Cliff's morning monologue, but he didn't really hear anything gamey this time. It wasn't as juicy as the day before. So anyway, then it was time for a potential vote flip. So Sam was talking to Kemi, and he was like, you know, I've been hearing some things the last day or so. Yeah, like Grateful. And it's making him realize he does not want to do Jack's dirty work. He realizes that Kemi is better for his game. He wants to work with her. He wants to keep her. So he's going to be having some conversations today. He's planning on talking to Cliff, Nicole, Nick and Bella, and Christy and Tommy. That would be 7 votes, and she only needs 6 to stay. So he's like, let's freaking do this. Let's get you staying this week. So Sam starts out by pitching to Nicole, Nick, and Bella. And he's like, come on, guys. Kemi's not targeting any of us. She can take out Jack for us. That would be great. Again, is Kemi gonna target Jack because she said that she promised him she wouldn't, and she says she's not gonna go back on that. But if other people save her, I don't know what she's gonna do. So anyway, they eventually do say after some discussion that they're down to flip it, and Nicole says that she can get Cliff. So already that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 votes. So then Nick and Bella are talking to Christy, and it seems like she's gonna be on board if the votes are there. That's at least what she's saying. And it was a good time to talk to her because she heard Jackson and Holly talking about catching up with Jack and Sis up in the HOH room, making her think that they're like a 4 within their larger group. So she's just like, what the hell is that? You know, why are they talking without everybody else? So she's worried that when it gets down to 6, she's gonna be the next target. So she's like, yeah, I mean, let's keep Kemi then. We'll see what happens here. So then Sam was talking to Jack in the storage room. Why do you feel like you have to get the HOH's permission? Sometimes it's better to just ignore the HOH's wishes, go behind his back, and do what you gotta freaking do. So Sam is telling Jack, Jess is gonna put up 2 guys if she wins HOH. She said many times in the past that she is never gonna put a girl up on the block, and that's not good for our group. So then he's saying, yeah, Kemi has made it known that she's after you, but like, if Kemi does put you up, we'll just save you. No, they won't. But Jack says, okay, well, I've made it clear this week that the decision, it's whatever is best for Grateful. Busted! Sam is not a part of Grateful, but he does know it exists. So there was like a silent moment there, and then Jack is like, whatever's best for our 9. And I wish I had kept a tally of how many times during the rest of that conversation he said, like, for our group of 9. Like, he's really trying to push now, like, our group of 9. But he freaking blew it. He blew it. But anyway, Sam already knew about it. But Jack is like, yeah, whatever's best for our group of 9. So then Jack tells Holly and Sis about the new developments. And they are already pissed because Nick has been throwing out their names as potential nominees to Nicole if she were to win HOH. He did talk to her again and try and get information out of her, and it's too much for her. Like, she has, I believe she said she has like social anxiety and she has a hard time opening up to people, and Nick knows that, and he's like trying to use it against her, and I think that's really shitty, especially since he is a therapist. That's effed up. But Nicole has gone back multiple times to Holly and told her, like, yo, he's throwing your name out there and suggesting you as one of my nominees. So yeah, they're pissed at Nick. And then when Jack tells them that Sam is trying to flip the vote to keep Kemi, they're like, no, there is no freaking way we are changing our votes, because it just looks like they, as in Nick and Sam and Bella and them, are trying to build up a group to take us out. Ugh, I wish they could. I really do. Yeah, so they're like, no way. So then after that, Christy is now telling Sam, it's too early. I can't go against the group like this. Camp Comeback is in play, and Jack or Jackson may have the whacktivity power. She knows that Jack has it, but she's not going to tell him that. So Sam is like, okay, well, it doesn't have to be you voting for Kemi to stay, because we only need 6. If we could get Tommy, you know, you're off the hook. You can still vote the way you want to. So she's saying, like, okay, well, let me know what's happening. Keep me in the loop. But then Nick also backs out after talking to Holly, Sis, and Jackson, because they're like, you still want Kemi out, right? You're still voting Kemi out. And he's like, yes, of course, I'm doing that, blah, blah, blah. So now he's bailing. He's bailing on the flip. This flip is a flop. For now, anyway. I mean, you never know what could happen in the next 24 hours. I think Sam is pretty motivated to keep Kemi now that he knows that he was kept in the dark about this Grateful Alliance. So I wouldn't be surprised if he still tried to get something going here. But these people, you really need to stop asking permission. Just freaking do what you need to do. You do not need the HOH's permission. And you know what? Do you really think that Jack, Jackson, Holly, and Sis, this thing with them is gonna last? No. So you're gonna need to build up numbers to take them out. I really think that they're dumb if they do not keep Kemi this week to go after the other side. So yeah, tomorrow's the eviction. Should be interesting to see if this vote flips or if Jess ends up staying and Kemi goes. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until next time, much love.